All right. Hello, everyone. We are back. I am your host for the next couple of runs, Octini, and I am here with. Why is the timer going? That's weird. I'm your host for the next couple of runs, Octini, and I'm here with Abby's Corner. She's going to be running Resident Evil 4 Remake, or as I like to call it, Rear. Um, and I don't really know very much about this game, so I'm just going to be sitting on the sidelines enjoying the run like all of you. But this is a couple hours long, plenty of time to get in donations for RIP Medical Debt. And go tell your friends to come and watch and enjoy and donate as well. Without further ado, Abby, please take it away.
Hi, everybody. I'm Abby. I'll be doing this game. Oh, hey, I got a thing. Cool. I guess I did that in practice yesterday. So a couple of things. When you want to do a new game on a system, but you don't like the auto aim, the first thing you have to do is you have to load up another save. Because for whatever reason, when you start a new game from the start screen, it's like, no, I'm just going to turn on auto aim. So since we don't want that, we have to go into a previous save and go into this. So that's what we're going to do. And of course, it'll ask what difficulty you want to use and whatnot, but it won't turn on auto aim, which is the important thing. So in 3, 2, 1, let us begin the run. So, for those who have never seen the original RE4, this is the remake. There is about almost 20 years of difference between the two. I know. Now you all feel old. I'm sorry. But yes, the original came out 18 years ago. And is kind of a groundbreaking game for the franchise. This game is more aggravating, and I see in chat that people are complaining about my audio, so I'm gonna try to fix that. Bear with me. Let's hope I can. So yeah. Let me just see. Apologies, everyone. Yep, I'm gonna. Oh wow, why is that a thing? I saw that and I was like, oh, that's why it's significantly lower, because once again, my mic decided to have a brain of its own. Whoops.
Someone just yesterday during tech checks was having trouble with audio balancing and realized after, I don't know, 30 minutes maybe, quite a while, that they had a hardware like noise cancellation on their microphone that had been enabled the entire time. So not just you.
That's fair. Again, for some reason, my mic usually turns itself up too loud, not the other way around. So that's a thing. So I switched to my shotgun because that's what we need to do, because unfortunately there's a very grabby gentleman, and we could have used the rocket launcher. However, Leon likes to flinch. Flinch is a good word when he uses the rocket launcher, or it has the potential to hit him. And we don't want to get hit. So now that I'm done with the shotgun, I am now switching to my sniper rifle, because there's a nice thing you can do on New Game Plus, which I will be demonstrating in just a few moments. So again, we're just kind of running around hoping to not get grabbed by anybody or hit by anyone, because the fun thing about this game is if you get hit by a bladed weapon, the game likes to give you an animation for every single type. So pitchforks have an animation, axes, machetes, you name it, they all have an animation. Also, we stuck to the left there to avoid a bear trap. I actually almost hit the bear trap, believe it or not. And now we're heading on into the village, and a head just fell off the fence. Isn't that nice? And our poor friend that you missed in the cutscene is about to get set on fire. In the original, he's kind of already dead. So we're going to close the door, which summons Dr. Salvador, who has a chainsaw, but we don't have to worry about that because I'm going to break this window, run over to the other side of the house, and oh look, it's the church. And the bell is ringing. The fight sequence is over. How convenient. And again, I'm switching to my rocket launcher because that's the next weapon I need to use for the next thing, though I have found out that it might not actually be needed because it turns out that you might be able to just shoot the door from the other side, which somehow disables the lock, which I just saw the other day. And I was like, oh, well, isn't that convenient? Because before I saw that, the way you would do it on a new game is have a grenade, launch the grenade through the window, or on New Game Plus, you could do the grenade, or you could do the rocket through the door, and that is specifically why you want auto-aim off, by the way, because auto-aim will try to aim at the enemy and just completely miss the door. You can hit that enemy with the rocket, by the way. You can also hit that one, too. Woo! Luckily, that was a miss. So, basically, we just skipped a good hunting to get up to the second floor, and then you would go down. I always forget that's not a cutscene. There are a lot of things that don't count as cutscenes, and it's like, oh yeah, that doesn't count as a cutscene. And of course, there was a giant man with a cow head that was like, hey, I'm coming to hit you with a giant hammer. It hurts a lot to get hit. So now Leon is just running across the bridge. We're actually going to come back to this house here in a later chapter, and right now we have to push a cart. Now luckily, while Leon is pushing the cart here after the hole, he has iframes, so that machete misses, which is very nice, because sometimes it will hit you because he'll try to strike you after the fact. And then instead of going down the path straight, we're going to take a turn here to avoid an explosion and a bunch of rocks, plus the option to hit a QT. So, I switched to my shotgun here based on how she was going to handle that. If she's charging at you, you definitely want to deal with her. But if she's not charging, there's a good chance that you can just pass her. And then we're switching back to the rocket launcher because once again, I have to explode some things. Again, there is a no major glitches category and a glitched category. The glitch category has all kinds of fun stuff that is no longer available on consoles unless you have a physical copy, which I do, but I was also never a physical or a glitch runner in the first place. But all those glitches are patched. You either have to down patch on PC or have a physical copy on console. Although the PS5 is kind of very much like, hey, update the game, which I tried to fight for so long. But eventually my PS5 updated and I was like, oh, well, that's sad. And then we have our good friend here that we have iframes while doing this, so he can't really do anything, but he's going to push us in a second. And we're just going to open the hatch because, again, iframes, avoiding the axe blow. And then we're going to pick up good old Luis, because Luis is in the bag. And that's the end of chapter 1. There are 16 chapters in total. It is quite the long run, which is why it's kind of super aggravating. And again, this is one of the unskippable things where for some reason, even though you've already seen this, it doesn't allow you to just skip it and not bother with it. Also, unlike Resident Evil 3 Remake, where communication talk, only that's over walkie-talkies, this is through some sort of advanced technology for 2005 that I don't think existed, doesn't stop the IGT timer, so you want to skip those as fast as possible. And I got caught. Fantastic. Of course Leon would get caught, and of course I would get hit. So we're just going to jump through the window. What I was trying to do there was knife the bear trap so that I can get through the door a bit faster. Basically, on the other side of that door is all our gear. So we're just going to spin this. You can get away with 3 spins, however, I find it really difficult to get there in time on 3. 4, pretty much guaranteed. So I'm just jumping back over. Again, they're going to have pay attention. There's also merchant quests in the game, which was kind of their, hey, we're sorry we took out the QuickTime events from the original, and I'm like, you're sorry for taking out something that nobody likes? Okay, that's cool, I guess. So once again, switching back to the shotgun because we've got some enemies to deal with, and it's just kind of faster to deal with them rather than try to avoid them, because she can actually stab you 3 times in a row, which is just not fun. And of course, we have a lot of people with dynamite and whatnot. A lot of runners call this Dynamite Canyon. And it can be a bit of a pain because there's a lot of enemies that will try to grab you as well. That's one difference between being infected with a parasite and being a zombie. Being ran at and tried to be grabbed, and it's just like, no thank you, please. Please don't do that. And so a lot of enemies that don't have weapons in their hand, it's like, oh no. And again, throwing explosions, never fun. And again, we don't need enemies to die, we just need them to be stunned so that we can run past them. Once we've ran past them, they're not really an issue. Also, because we are on New Game Plus, I have a charm on my briefcase that gives me +8 movement speed, so we are moving faster than you would in a New Game playthrough. Do I know how much of a difference it actually is? No. But it is faster. The other charms I have are crit hit chance with the knife and also knife repair, though funny enough, in my practice run yesterday, I didn't end up using the knife enough to have to go get it repaired, and so I was like, oh, well, isn't that interesting? Unfortunately, I don't have any other charms that are beneficial for New Game Plus. And here we have the most difficult puzzle in the game. It's just absolutely takes forever and really, really hard to solve. And then we have open the door. Again, we have some more friends who just want to either give us a hug, punch me. Sometimes when you get hit, it can take you out of bear traps faster, but again, you don't want to get into a bear trap to begin with, and unfortunately, I've already been gotten into 2. How utterly fun. And again, we're about to re-meet Dr. Salvador. It's hard to know if it's a different one or the same one the whole time, because, again, I could have killed him earlier with a rocket, but again, we went for the bell strat. And then he shows up here, and he's gonna show up later as well. And it's just kind of like, is it the same one, or is it a different one every time? We'll never know. And then we have sort of a callback puzzle coming up here, because this is a similar puzzle to the other remakes. So we need to go plant armadillo. It's actually a pig, but it looks like an armadillo to me. Don't worry, it's fine. And then we pick up the crystal for a puzzle that used to be a major pain. It used to take quite a while to figure out. And here we go. So all we need to do is move it down and then move it to the left, although it's right on the stick. And there you go. Puzzle is solved, and that's the end of chapter 2. Question though, was there a result for saving the dog or not? As I'm not sure if that was decided upon, and now would be the time. If anyone in chat would like to have input, now would be the chance, because literally there's the dog, but in the run we don't actually save the dog, we run away. You know what, for the sake of the marathon, we'll save the dog.
Let me double check. Last time I checked, sorry, I'm looking it up. The last time I checked, save the dog was winning.
Okay.
Yes, save the dog, $50. Don't save the dog, no dollars.
Okay, well, it's a good thing I saved the dog then. So we
Okay,
saved the dog.
sorry about the delay
Um,
there.
it's okay. And he's fine. He actually can help you in a future boss fight. But because we have the rocket launcher, we kind of kill the boss in one hit anyway. But he will come and help you in Chapter 4. Also, I'm sorry to anyone that really likes cows, because there's a cow on fire right there. Unfortunately, there's no way to save the cow. Alright, and rocket the door to take out the lock and also blow up the bomb, and sometimes blow her up. Again, it's kind of random if that'll happen. Unfortunately, I missed the shotgun shot to avoid him punching me, but at least it was a punch and not a grab, because again, grabs kind of take a little longer to get out of. As we are just running through the village, trying to get to the lake, trying to get to the church, because Ashley is supposedly in the church. Does Leon have any evidence? Not really. It's basically going on a hunch. She is in the church, mind you. Also, the camera likes to do this thing at sometimes where it really wants you to pay attention to something, and it's like, I know it's there, I don't care, I just need to go forward, please and thank you. And of course, we get up to the church, we find out that it's locked, we get a cutscene, and then we get immediate comms chant. So one thing for skipping things, as you may notice that I'm pausing to skip things, it's because if you're in gameplay, you have to hold triangle to skip the conversation. So it's a little faster to pause and do it than it is to hold. So here we are, continuing to run. Again, all the enemies speak Spanish. By the way, we're in Spain. So the currency that we pick up, which I'm not really picking up because I don't need it, is pesetas, which was used in Spain until 2002 when the euro took over. Now, why the development team stuck with pesetas when, again, the game takes place in 2004, so it would have been 2 years after the euro was introduced, is kind of interesting. Granted, we're not straight up in Spain, so maybe this small rural village still used pesetas, but there's no, like, reason or lore as to why we're picking up pesetas and why they're being accepted as currency for our weapons and upgrades. So just a little fun history lesson, I guess, to go with your speedrun. So right now, I have to go get a gas can to start up a boat. In the original, there is no gas can. You just get to the boat, you start it up, and you go straight into the boss fight. In this one, we've gone to get a gas can. Of course, we're in a fish farm right now. This is what it's called. And again, there's a lot of merchant quests in the game. There's a merchant quest actually in this area to break 5 medallions. Again, because we're on New Game Plus, we don't have to worry about merch quests. And again, since I killed the big guy, I don't need to worry as much. Again, cutting the wires is faster than shooting them because shooting them causes an explosion. And again, Leon likes to flinch at explosions. So there we go, we've got the boat fuel, and very nice run there. We were able to run past them perfectly fine. And here we go, we now have a rocket again, because unfortunately, oh, he's not there, what luck. Sometimes there's an archer up here, and so that's why I pulled out the rocket launcher to hit him, which would also cause the, bomb to go off as well, and so it would have worked out great. Please don't hit me, thank you. Again, it's just easier to just avoid enemies than get into fights with them, but sometimes you want to get into fights with them because sometimes there's just no way around them, especially when it comes to pitchforks. Anybody wielding a pitchfork automatically charging at you, you should shoot them, otherwise it's not gonna be a fun time. So here we are, we're on the boat. Unfortunately, there's going to be an unskippable animation. I don't know why this is unskippable. I don't know why it's not just counted as one big cutscene. Because it literally is, once you go into the boat, there's a cutscene, and now we have to fight a giant lizard! That's right, it's not actually a fish, it's a giant salamander. Fun fact, there is a model viewer, and you can unlock Del Lago's model, and you can see his tiny little legs. You can sometimes see them when he's jumping, but it's... hopefully we're not going to get to the point where we see him jumping around. I hope. Del Lago is kind of a run killer, because sometimes he can take forever to go down. Hopefully that's not the case here. So right now he's disappeared, and it's like, oh no, where is he? There he is. Also, I am playing in Japanese, for anyone curious. It doesn't make a difference with anything, it's just a preference thing. Oh, we didn't... no, we didn't get the one cycle, that's unfortunate. So we're spinning. Again, it is easier, I find, to hit him in the remake than it is in the original. The original, he's also a run killer, because we just can't use our own weapons. Like, I imagine if I could use the rocket launcher, he would go down in a shot. No issues. Everything would be fine. But unfortunately, we have to use the harpoons. Okay. He is, and then he's going under again, and then is he rising again? No, he's not rising again. Where did you go? There you are. Really? Really? Okay, this was just gonna be the long fight. Haha. Alright then. There's his little legs. So yeah, now he's in his jumping phase. So he'll jump right out of the water and you can see his legs and stuff. There we go. Why aren't you letting me? That's why you're not letting me, because I'm hitting the wrong button. That makes sense. Okay. Wow, he just does not want to go down today. Nice. Okay. Go. I can't get hit another time, otherwise I'm going to die and have to start the whole thing over again. That shot missed. I don't think I've ever had the fight last this long. Nicely done. Oh no. Yeah, that's... He's still not... Wow. Okay. Oof. There we go. Okay, and that's the end of Chapter 3. Now in Chapter 4, we're introduced to the Plagas properly. Also, the village is 6 chapters, the castle is also 6 chapters, and the island is 3. Whoops. That's not what I wanted. That's what I was waiting for, was the conversation to start. And I'm gonna try a little skip here. It's not really like anything super. It's just basically to skip a little unskippable cutscene by hitting the enemy with a rocket. Because you see that gentleman's shadow right there? Well, he's transforming into a Plagas seed. And if you hit just right... Well, the cutscene can't play introducing the Plagas because the Plagas is dead. And that's what we're kind of hoping for. Sometimes it's easy to do, sometimes not. If you miss and hit the rocks, you're gonna get the cutscene. Also, we're not quite done with the boat because we've got to go get some key. Well, something to get the key, which is heads, which we need to put in hands. There's no particular order that we have to put the heads. We just have to grab the heads. So that's what we're gonna do. So we're gonna start with the one all the way over here. There's also a bunch of items you can find, such as gems and whatnot, as well as a gun. If you don't have the gun, it gives you something that you can sell for money. And there's also an island that has chickens on it. In New Game, you would go to that island with chickens because there is a boss at the end of Chapter 12 that apparently doesn't like getting hit with eggs, and it'll do 70% of his health. I did the wrong one. Please click the third one. Thank you. There we go, and there we go. So there's set patterns for each of them. There's also, the statues bleed when you remove the heads. I don't know why they bleed. They just do. So that's also a thing. And then we're gonna head back. Go. There's also a giant fish that you can hit with the harpoons, because anytime you're in the boat, you have to use the harpoons. Luckily, we have an unlimited supply. How nice of them. Of course, my rockets are also unlimited, but I had to pay 200 million pesetas for that. The infinite rocket launcher is the only item that you have to pay with pesetas to have. The other two just come with unlockables by using challenge points. Granted, you have to upgrade them for them to become infinite, but just having them is basically free. So again, it's easier to just dodge the enemies, not deal with them, than it is to fight them. Again, sometimes we do have to fight them because they might be in my way, or in your way, and sometimes their heads might pop off, and a giant parasitic tentacle monster comes out. So here we go, next puzzle. Grab the head, and there's two ways we can go. We can either go back the way we came, or we can just jump down here. Sometimes it's easier to go back the way you came, other times not so much. Of course, I've got a group of them, so I'm just gonna do that to get rid of them. Again, nobody with a shovel, so that was good. I don't think the shovel has an animation. I could be wrong. So now that we have the pieces, we can turn around and head back the way we came. So that's what we're gonna do. Again, nobody comes after you when you're using the boat. So that is good. Once you're out of there, even if enemies are alive, they kind of just go about their business and forget you exist. Which is kind of funny, because their whole goal is to stop you from saving Ashley. So there we go. Like I said, it doesn't matter how you put the heads in, just so long as the heads are in. And now we have the church key, and we can head on it, and we can head on out. In the original, it's a little different for how you get the church key. And there's a bunch of, like, there's waterfalls and stuff. There's crates you have to shoot down. There's a lot different with the remake, but a lot of it is the same at the same time. Not as much cut content as there is in 3, as well as 2. I want to say out of the 3 remakes, 4 is the most complete is the word I will use. So now we're off to just run in the rain. But oh no, a giant has appeared. This is where the dog would come and help you during this fight. You do have to damage the El Gigante a bit before the dog will come and help you. But again, since we have the rocket launcher, it's just like, it's all good. So here we go, running back through. Oddly, walls that were up before no longer exist. No enemies seem to be around, probably because they were all helping things. And then, oh no, the thing we haven't actually fought yet. Dogs appear. There are actually dogs in the village, but because I used the rocket launcher to open the door, we don't really see them. There were dogs earlier that we could have seen when I was going through the El Gigante arena, but we don't usually mess with them because they're really slow when getting up. Normally I rocket this one just because sometimes he can be annoying, but for some reason I didn't. But yes, there's actually 2 moments you can see a parasite dog, and the other one is more if you're doing a casual playthrough and exploring for it to show up. This one is pretty much the one you're always going to see during the speedrun. Also, this puzzle is different in the original. It is much easier to do in the remake, in my opinion. So what we have to do is we have to line everything up. So I start with green, because green has a really easy piece. If I could get green to line up properly, that would be great. Alright, then blue, because blue has this thing going on here. And then red. I think every runner does it differently, because it's just the thing that they've noticed first. So basically, you need the stained glass to line up with the cult symbol of the Los Illuminados, and once that's done, we can go. Indeed. And now we see Ashley, and that's the end of chapter 4. There's actually a fun glitch you can do, where you can basically leave Ashley behind. One of the other differences between original and Remake 4 is the fact that you don't have to babysit Ashley so much, which is really nice. Also, you can find Ashley's phone in the corner there, and if you find it and she sees that you found it, she will complain that her phone is broken. And because she just got the phone, everyone. And it's not cool when your brand new phone is broken. And also, you don't have to catch Ashley at any point. So that's also nice. She can basically take care of herself for the most part, so it works out really well. Alright. Let's get going. Again, enemies will try to grab Ashley, but because she's in the suit of armor, they just immediately drop her. She's invincible in it. And, like, you just don't need to worry at all. One of the advantages to Remake also is they allow you to stab enemies with the knife. So even if they do pick her up and everyone's just walking around, you can just be like, oh, hello, stab, they're done with. Also, I am using the strongest knife in the game. It doesn't have, it's not an infinite knife like the primal knife. However, it does more damage than a lot of guns in the game, which is nice. So it's like, what do I do? Have something that doesn't have damage, but can be infinite? Or do I have something that can usually insta-kill if I stab them with it? So it's kind of a pick your poison moment. Like, what would you prefer? Would you prefer to not have to go to the merchant to repair a knife if need be? Or would you prefer to at least not have to deal with a problem? Because sometimes they can come back and be a problem. Sometimes. So it's up to you, really. And now we're back in this area, and remember when I said we'd be going back and checking that house? Ow, that really hurt. I'm on fire. Hopefully I don't set a cow on fire. Also, there's pigs in the game. We didn't see any of those earlier. Also, our good friend, Mr. Cowhead, is back. I am not sure if they are just people wearing cow heads, or if there's somehow like a fusion monster thing. and like they're part cow, part person. So now we're in the cabin, which is also less annoying than in the original, in my opinion. Feel free to disagree with me. Sure, Lewis is still here, and Lewis is the most annoying character in the game. Some people argue that it's Mike, but I disagree because we have to be around Lewis more. Trust me, my anti-Lewis rhetoric shall return in Chapter 11. Don't you worry, and it will be there. So right now, we're just trying to blow up as many people as possible. When they're climbing through windows, they have immunity, and unfortunately Lewis has a hitbox. Did I mention I'm not a fan of Lewis? And so my armor took a bit of damage because there was recoil from the explosion because the man doesn't know how to get out of my way. Just go sit in a corner, sir. I do not need your assistance. Just go away. Also, that table won't break. Also, you can put those boards on the windows and it can stop people from coming in, which is really nice. There we go, we're in the second half of the fight. Once that goes up, we're almost at the end. We just have to kill a few more enemies. There's gonna be another Mr. Cowhead. That's what I would call them. So here's an example of the knife. Oh, nice. I didn't even get to show you an example of the knife stab because Ashley came in. I didn't even know that was a thing that could happen, so I didn't even lose time to that. And that cutscene was our first introduction to Ada. Technically, we see her in Chapter 2, but we only see a glimpse of her. In that cutscene there, her and Lewis actually have a conversation, which is not in the... Actually, is that in the original? That might be in the original. It's been a while since I played the original and actually watched the cutscenes. And now we're in the final village chapter, which is Chapter 6. No, I assure you. There's 16 chapters. We're just at the end of one of 3 sections. Now, there are a few instances where Ashley can be caught. That is one of them. If she is grabbed while you are opening that door, the game will be like, oh no, she is fully captured. Get out of here. Whereas this one, so usually I just rocket the group and we're good. Here is another thing that I didn't know about for a while. Instead I would go up those stairs and whatnot, but turns out you can also shoot the lock off that door, but you can blow up that door, get rid of that lock, get rid of that lock, and oh hey, it's the crank. However, there's a surprise. Oh no! The chainsaw grannies are here. Oh no, I have a rocket launcher. Problem solved. There we go. The rocket launcher. The great equalizer for all your chainsaw granny problems. Alright, so now we're just running. Ashley hasn't been caught, and I should have enough iframes to not get knocked out of this. If I'm knocked out of this, that is a huge problem. Oh good, grabs don't count, but hopefully nobody punches me because it would be really... Are you kidding me? Alright, now you've gone and made me mad. Oh, I thought I had to do the thing. Okay. What? Can you all just go away already, please and thank you? It'd be so nice. Oh yes, if you are running the patch for, like, all the glitches are gone. If you've ever seen a glitched run, that's because they're running on version 1.0. Because in the because you see, when IGN, Polygon, and friends write, hey, here's how to get S plus in professional, and they show you all the glitches, it's like, oh, now the glitches are too well known. Now they're going to patch it out. Also, the patch job was so funny because it was so simple. All they did was put links or limbs on all the doors to stop all the door skips. I believe the only skip that still works in the patched version is Novistador Cave skip. And other than that, you're still losing 20 minutes to somebody who's running unpatched. So here we go, we have Mendez. By the way, in that part where I was running and shooting and a bridge blew up, if Mendez grabs Ashley, it's insta-game over. There is no chance to save Ashley, it just insta-game overs you. So very important to keep moving and don't stop. So that was the end of the village. The village is done. On to the castle and our good pal, Ramon Salazar, who I still pronounce his name as if he was French instead of Spanish. And again, it'll always ask you, do you want to save? At the end of each time, even though there's auto-saving. And again, we have a merchant there. We're not going to go visit the merchant till hopefully chapter 11 at the earliest. If at all. Chances are there will be an at all, though, because there usually is. It's just either chapter 11 or chapter 15. Now, there is a way to not have Leon flinch at this part. That was not it. Sometimes the game likes to give it to me, sometimes not so much. Very unfortunate. Also, I will be switching to the Magnum here, which is the Killer 7, which is a reference to the game by Suda51 Killer 7, because at the time of the original RE4's release, there was what was known as the Capcom 5, which was Beautiful Joe, Resident Evil 4, Piano 3, a game that never came out, and Killer 7. Was that all 5? That may not have been 5, my apologies. Piano 3 was the only one that ended up still being a GameCube exclusive. The only one to still, or it might have been Resident Evil 1 Remake was the 5th game. Yes. So it was the only one to remain a GameCube exclusive, and also when RE4 came to PS2, Resident Evil creator Shinji Mikami, also known for The Evil Within, as well as Tango Gameworks, he founded that studio, for those that did not know. He has since left the studio after the release of Hi-Fi Rush. Dead Phoenix was the cancelled one, yes. I just didn't know if I said 5 titles. He was actually quite upset when Resident Evil 4 released on the PS2. So he was not pleased about that. Also, the PS2 does have extra content, including a reference to Piano 3, which is funny, because you think they wouldn't throw in a reference to the game that was exclusive to the GameCube, but they did. Also, Resident Evil 1 Remake stayed exclusive to Nintendo till 2014, I believe. So we're not going to fight these enemies. We're going to send Ashley over. Sorry, as I just randomly threw out facts there instead of explaining that I was just trying to blow up a door using a cannon. You cannot use the rocket launcher to blow it up, unfortunately. Right now I'm solving a puzzle in advance while I wait for Ashley to open the door instead of fighting the enemies. So there we go. I, of course, played the original RE4 originally on the PS2. That was my first experience with the game. Also, my first experience with the franchise as a whole. Because I didn't do a lot of horror when I was younger, and also didn't have anything to really... I didn't really have access to horror games. Another weird fun fact was that Clock Tower 3 was the first horror game I ever beat. Which is probably a weird horror game to start on for beating a horror game. Yes, unfortunately, Remake did not come out with a chainsaw controller, unfortunately. So now, we've killed the Garrador, we've gotten the key, we've gotten everything, and now we're moving on. Sorry, I was just trying to remember what gun I want to switch to, which was the Chicago Sweeper, which was known as the Chicago Typewriter in the original. So we shoot those three to open this, and then we have a sword puzzle to go through. Sword puzzle is fairly simple. Take the gold one, take the rusted one, put the gold one where the rusted one was, put the bloodied one where there is none, take the iron sword, put the rusted one where the iron sword was, and of course, put that in. It, for whatever reason, it lets you move for a second and then doesn't let you move. Switching back to the shotgun, which is the striker, which is the second most powerful in terms of power shotgun. The riot gun has 19.5. This is... What am I doing? Going the wrong way. And then we're going to the water hall. But the reason I use the striker, as I was talking about shotguns for a moment, is because it has the most, it has the largest clip, or magazine, whichever you would like to use, terminology you would like to use. So because it has the largest magazine, it means, oh, I don't have to worry about ammo so much. Whereas the riot gun's magazine is only 12 at max. Again, I don't need to kill them, I just need to make sure they're out of my way. Again, Waterhall is kind of the nightmare scenario for a lot of people. In the original and this one, it is a little less taxing in the remake. Also, it turns out that that water is part of the Plagas ritual to make the Plagas come up. You're kidding me! What is this luck? Oh. Oh, this luck. Alright, here we go. And fire. Again, sometimes they might pop a Plagas, sometimes they might not. I don't need to worry, Ashley, you're right here. Also, the way Ashley behaves is very different in the two games. There's either follow me or just stand there. In this one, there's keep your distance and be right beside me. So here's a fun thing that you can do. You can send her up to get ready for her to turn her valves, and you can do your valve. Originally, I didn't know you could do that, so I would do Leon's first, then send her up. But you can do both at the same time. Now you may be wondering, oh no, she's going to get captured. No, it actually gives you enough time to do yours as well. Of course, using the good old rocket launcher to cause some mayhem as we explode the enemies and allow them to not be a nuisance or an issue. Very important to make sure that they're dealt with before she gets there, because she will, like, flinch and, like, kneel down and just not move, and it's like, Ashley, just move. You'll be fine. And one thing about her being in the suit, and her being immortal while in the suit, is that you can just basically aim at her the whole time and not have to deal with things. I should also pay attention to me so I don't get hit, because that would be kind of important, don't you know? And again, because she's very independent, we can just run. She'll catch up at some point. And that is the end of Chapter 7, because pretty much after Waterhole, there's a gate that needs to be opened, and then Ashley gets sort of possessed by her parasite and stabs Leon with his knife and says, "Temperance child," and then she regains control and is scared and runs off. And so we're going to lose Ashley for Chapter 8. Also, this is a good time to hydrate while I wait for Ashley to show up. Also, if you have any donations, it would be a, what is taking her so long? What is she doing? I don't know what she's doing, but still, it would be a good time for donations if there are any. While I find out, there she is, I'm like, what the? Okay, that was really weird why she took so long. Alright, she doesn't usually take that long, so that's why I was concerned. She must have got caught on a door or something. Fun times.
I will take a quick opportunity just to remind folks that we are raising money during this event for RIP medical debt, and that for every $1 you are able to donate, $100 in medical debt is eliminated. So there's a 100 times multiplier on your donation, which is a pretty significant impact. So anything you are able to contribute would be very, very helpful. But yeah, thanks for watching. Stick around. Donate if you can.
Alright, so now that we've lost Ashley, we're alone for a bit, which means basically nothing, but in New Game, I imagine it's kind of a breath of fresh air. And you see that red gentleman, I call him Glory Alice Plagas Man, because he can make Plagases. And also, he just repeatedly says Glory Alice Plagas the whole time. But basically, somehow, he's able to create them, and it's not a fun time. How are you still alive? What is this? This is some sort of luck I've got going on here. But basically, we need his lantern. There we go. They were kind of nice to me. And we're good. Because his lantern will unlock the gate. Luckily, he didn't summon any Plagases, which is nice. So it's just like we can continue, and we're about to meet Ada. But of course, since we're skipping the cutscene, we don't actually meet Ada. And then we have a puzzle to solve. So we need these 3 tablets to go in because there's already one in there. So we're just going to collect them. Again, Leon using the power of his elbow to break the glass. I'm kind of surprised he doesn't, you know, cut his elbow in the process. Of course, I'm using a costume, but in the no, I wanted that. There we go. And then that. And then that. There we go. In the original game, he loses his jacket, and basically it's his bare elbow hitting the glass, so it's kind of like, huh. Alright then. I believe an episode of Mythbusters, like, basically proved a bunch of the stuff that he does in the game to actually not just leave you unharmed. I don't think it was specifically because of Resident Evil 4, but it might have been like a, hey, here's a bunch of stuff in media that will actually not make you perfectly unharmed. Oh, I didn't get the explosion to break that. That's unfortunate. Alright, so then we hit that. Again, there's a bunch of enemies on the other side of the bridge, so you can just blow them up beforehand, which works out great. And of course, we have the new introduction of the new Plagas, who behaves very differently than in the original, as we saw a bit where he'll actually, or where they'll actually take over. Oh! This, I don't know what... This run has been something. But they'll actually take over Los Illuminados members and basically attack you. In the original, they just claw at you, is their thing, and they can obviously move around and whatnot. There we go. Just want to get rid of these guys because it might take me a second to open the gates. This isn't... Ow! Sir, that was not nice. Wrong button. Again, I came prepared with heals and whatnot. Alright, can I get... There we go. Again, this is not how the game intends you to do that. It wants you to go use levers, changing it from sun to moon and whatnot. But if you have a way to explode the counterweights, the gates will rise. You can also do that in New Game as well, if you have grenades and whatnot. And also, I killed a boss, which was another El Gigante, but it was in armor. Fun fact, that animation is it being hit by a cannon to the face, or a cannonball to the face, but it allows you to hit it with a rocket and kill it. There's our cannon, by the way, because there's another door that we have to explode. Unfortunately, you cannot use a rocket to explode doors, which is kind of an interesting choice. There we go. We're also almost to the end of Chapter 8, and that's where we will meet the maze. One of the things that a lot of people thought when they were first playing through the game was that they cut out certain points, but they didn't cut them out, they just rearranged them. So, for example, in the original, we would have done the hedge maze by now, but instead of doing the hedge maze, which is also where we meet Ada at the end of doing the hedge maze in the original, we do the hedge maze in the beginning of Chapter 8, because there it is right there. And it is also very different, because instead of getting things to make an emblem to unlock a door, we're instead lowering flags to unlock a gate. So now we have also Ashley is not in the maze, whereas in Remake, she is in the maze because we just got her. She was just chilling out on a couch because she was rather scared. How she got to that couch is a mystery, but she somehow got to the couch completely unharmed and whatnot, unless the door was already unlocked and she was the one who locked it. But we unlock it from the outside, so it's still kind of a mystery how the door was locked. Jeez. Again, there are a lot of dogs in here. So here we are on our first lever. Technically there was a lever that I could have pulled a bit earlier, but I find in case I miss rocket shots, there are Ganado who are going to run in and try to kidnap Ashley. It's another one of those instances where you can't just run, because if Ashley is kneeling down, the game will treat it as if she's been kidnapped if you leave the area. And I found that out the hard way. So it's very important that you deal with the Ganado so that Ashley will run. I don't know why I'm trying to pull that. I need Ashley to pull that. Dogs are being really annoying right now. There we go. Alright. So again, while Ashley's holding that down, we can go through. And instead of Ashley running towards the or towards the beginning, she just sits there and holds it the entire time. And then there's the second flag. And then remember that gate that closed at the end of chapter 7 / the one that was closed in the beginning of chapter 8? It's open now. Because they opened it because they want Ashley. So... there we go. Oh, need to deal with him. There we go. So once those 3 are dealt with, because they will run into the maze and cause Ashley to kneel down, as I mentioned, that's why I leave this one for last, because then I can see Ashley and deal with whoever is trying to chase her. And also she should be at the gate by now, which she is, because she's right there. And so we're good to move on. Now we have some more puzzles to do, because we need statue pieces. So we need to go into each room and grab the statue pieces. So that's what we're going to do. As we just run about. Here we go. Enter this one first. This one is actually the hardest of the 3, but we found a way to make it easier by exploding that spot. Because what usually happens is there's a dude that runs up and pulls the lever, which lowers this bridge or walkway, and then you have to do a bunch of combat, walk around and all that stuff. But by exploding them and killing them, there's also a Glory LS Plagas guy there too, we don't have to worry about that at all. You can do it on New Game as well, you just have to have grenades and also kind of have the appropriate timing, because, you know, with an infinite rocket launcher, I can sit there and just spam it, so it works out. So now we grab the lion head, and now we have Plagas in statues! Or in suits of armor. I don't know why I said statues. I mean, technically a suit of armor could be a statue, right? That makes total sense. Again, insta-kill thanks to the rocket launcher. It can be a bit of a hassle to deal with these guys even in the original. There we go. And there's a little throwback to the original. In the original, you have to catch Ashley every time. And if she's in the suit of armor in the original, Leon holds his back every time. And it's just like, haha. And so there's a little throwback to that, which I just discovered last week, that he still holds his back. And I'm like, yes, it still exists. So here we go. We're on the last puzzle. And this puzzle requires us to ring 2 dining bells and make sure that they sound the same and sound in tune. Leon, stop doing what you're doing. You need to tell Ashley to sit there. And then Leon sits here. And the bar's lower. And that's the snack. The snack head. The snake head. Not snack head. And now we have all 3 pieces to make the Cerberus. So goat, snake, lion, and then there's a bit of a cutscene happening here. I don't know why they didn't make this whole thing a cutscene, because literally that's unskippable, and then we get a skippable cutscene, and it's just kind of like, why was that a thing? And now we control Ashley. Now there are a bunch of puzzle things to solve, but we're not gonna do most of them, because, fun fact, if you know what time the clock is, you can just set it to that time. And it just so happens that I know the clock time. So on assisted and standard, it's 11:04. On hardcore and professional, it's 7 o'clock on the dot. So there we go. Now also, there are suits of armor going around, but Ashley doesn't know that there's suits of armor going around. If we did the puzzles and everything, everything would be fine. And she would go, oh no, because there's statues going behind her. But because she doesn't know that there's, I keep calling them statues, suits of armor, she's like, what's that noise? And then she says, I'm so done with armor, as she's sitting in a suit of armor. But guess what? There's more suits of armor, Ashley. So we have to ring 4 bells. There's no particular order for those bells. However, if you were playing on New Game, these knights will kill her in one shot. So you want to kind of be able to move as fast as possible. So that pattern, in my experience, seems to be the best option for not getting hit. There are no significance to those times. They're just times. Alright, so here we go. We now have another puzzle that I already know the answer to. So, full moon, crescent moon, star. One thing that I didn't show you is that when you shine the light on the Plagas, it freezes them in place. But again, we haven't really had to deal with the Plagases, so we've been basically fine, and now we have the Salazar family emblem. And the game, again, likes to do this thing where the camera wants you to pay attention to something, even though it's kind of a detriment, and it's just like, why? Why would you do that? Again, the blue light pauses the Plagases in place, and since there's a blue flame there, they're all like, oh no, I can't move. But again, Ashley has no way to freeze them, so she's kind of like, oh no, what do I do? But again, not really much to worry about. Just run for the elevator. That's all you need to do, because they are a little slow when it comes to putting their blades down. So here we go. Going back up. And run. As fast as I can. I actually, when I was doing non-armored runs, I was like, can you even run past that guy? I don't think so, so I would wait for him to come down the stairs before moving. But it turns out you can run past him, no problem. It's amazing what the suit of armor gives you the courage to figure out. Ha-ha! Alright. We are almost done with the Ashley segment. There's just one thing left to do. Also, we're about to lose Ashley again. For quite a while. We won't get her back till chapter 14, as a matter of fact. Also, the way that Ashley gets recaptured by Salazar is different in the original. In the original, it's the Novistadors taking Ashley. In this one, it's a Verdugo, which is Salazar's sort of bodyguards. And also, speaking of Novistadors, we are introduced to them in Chapter 10. As a matter of fact, we're introduced to them in about, I don't know, 15 seconds. Because there they are. Now, in this one, they do a camouflage thing. In the original, they just can sometimes be invisible. Note, they can be invisible as well, but only in a certain spot. Also, Novistadors are much more prevalent in the remake than the original. Explode those two. again, we're not going to get into a ton of combat against the Novistadors, but I am going to shoot a few here and there to make sure that they're out of my way, and maybe we'll even hit a few extras. Wouldn't that be nice? Again, Novistadors can be a bit annoying, but it's fine. So there's gate number 1 being released. Jump down. Right in front of a Novistador. That's the second time that's ever happened, where there's just a Novistador hanging out camouflaged right there, and I'm like, huh, interesting. The first time was during my practice run yesterday. Alright, hit him. He doesn't need to die, he just needs to be out of my way. And will this one be there? No, he won't. Interesting. Again, rocket launcher that one. Again, we're not too concerned with getting into combat with them. They're not too that much of an issue. And now that we have the door open, they just stop bothering us for some reason. I don't know why they don't continue to follow us, but they don't. And I'm going to rocket launcher that one spot, which deals with both things as drawbridge lowers. And then we're into the classic area where there's 2 Garrador just sitting there. Only this time it's a bit different because instead of them dropping loot as they die, they just drop the items to go through the door. In the original, you would need to kill them to get through the door, and the door would automatically open, as I hit the wrong button once again, to open the menu, because I needed to heal. Also, that's another thing, I don't remember if they can do damage to you when they die. I don't recall. I don't think they can, though. In this one, they can, as they swing while they're dying. And then we hear Ashley, and then also a bunch of funny stuff, like I've sent my right hand to deal with you, your right hand comes off, that's not here. Also, there's no scene where Salazar sends his right hand to go after Leon down here, and there's of course no shooting of the, I don't know what it is, but I'm gonna call it the speaker to make him go, ah, because Salazar's like, where's the satisfying sound of bones crunching in the original, or I don't think I quoted that word for word. And then Leon shoots the thing, and then Salazar gets angry and is like, go! Kill him! Now! Yeah, that's not here. There's a lot less quips. There are some because the where's everybody going? Bingo, that's still here. Which I didn't show in the beginning. My apologies. But for the most part, it's a much serious, darker game compared to the original. The original is a lot more campier. Yes, Leon does have some lines like "Nighty Night Nights," but again, it's very much darker. Also, there are some things that were changed with certain characters as well. As we continue to climb, you can also use a grenade on that spot to make it go, break. In a casual playthrough, you may have kicked the wall down, but that's a little slow in compared to just blowing up the wall. So here we go, casually running, opening the door. There's the merchant, but I'm not going to see him, because I don't really have a reason to see him. There we go, opening the door. If you hit X there, you may have a chance to read a note about the nitroglycerin. That's not exactly what we want to do. Actually, I don't even think it's nitroglycerin, but nitroglycerin kinda in my brain makes the most sense. But either way, the ability to freeze things. Here we go. Lift the lever. Run through the door. There's the gate going up. Also, the voladors, you may see a certain horror movie franchise monster that they look very similar to. The chat wants to take any guesses. I won't spoil it. So there we go. He pops down. I meant to rocket him. Oh, he's still alive. That's unfortunate, but I think he's leaving me alone for the time being. I forgot to rocket him a little earlier to see if he would be doomed, but unfortunately, no. No doom here. There we go. All right. Please don't. Oh, that's unfortunate. That's also a rare thing that has only happened to me a few times that I didn't know was a thing. But then again, I usually didn't let him survive. Am I going the right way? I'm not going the right way, because for whatever reason, the camera angle likes to change me and put me in the wrong direction. Always nice when that happens. Alright, hit that. I don't know where he is. Is he coming in time? Yes, he is. Blow him up. He's done for. And then we're right at here when the elevator drops. Before I would do it in the initial room. That way I don't have to deal with him. When running to the exit, but apparently this is the faster method. Which, fair enough. And sometimes I can kill him right as he jumps down. Actually, that's only ever happened once, and it happened during my, practice run. So, one of the things that's also different is that when we see cutscenes with Sadler, it's through the parasite that he's communicating with, and that's a really nice touch, I feel. I really like that touch. It's wonderful. I'm just gonna restock these, because why not? Whereas in the original, there will just be a cutscene play, and he'll be like, Krauser, go get the girl. And it's like, okay, that was a little random. We don't know who this character is yet, and whatnot, or what significance they play. Whereas the whole, he's seeing things due to the parasite and not knowing what's happening, it's kind of like, interesting. And I like it. Also, we don't meet Sadler himself until chapter 14, which is another nice touch, whereas in the original, he's kind of following us around, and he's also the one responsible, or the one who kills Lewis. In this one, Lewis is alive a lot longer, and the person who kills him is also different, but spoilers. So we're waiting for Lewis to open the gate. It's open. We can go on through. Excellent. Also, there was a whole section I skipped because I rocket launched the TNT. I believe in New Game they also rocket launched the TNT. Although I think by that point they also have the infinite rocket launcher glitch going. In No Major Glitches, I'm not exactly positive. Also, chat, are you a fan of thrill rides? I hope you're a fan of thrill rides, because we're about to go on a roller coaster. In the original, Lewis is not here. And it's very different. Here we go. Now, one of the parts that I don't like about this is the fact that we don't get to choose what weapon we use. we're using Lewis's Red 9. We may have infinite ammo, but the Red 9 isn't exactly my favorite thing in the world to use, especially when I have a rocket launcher or a shotgun or something like that. Note, enemies will still die in one hit, but it's still kind of like, I would like to use something that's not the Red 9, please. But oh well. Now there's two ways you can kill enemies in cards. You can either shoot them or break their cards. Breaking their cards takes multiple shots. And also they're trying to break our card. Oh, I took that hit. I didn't mean to take that hit, but I took that hit. I meant to break those boards. Again, this is kind of all just an auto-scroller. I don't think I hit them. I didn't hit them. There we go. Dealt with. Again, you can either use the explosives or you can just shoot them. It's really up to you and your preference. Go. And aim and fire. And shoot those. If you don't shoot those, it leads you to your death. Very important to shoot the directional things, otherwise you're gonna die. And on professional, there's no checkpoints. So it's just like, oh, I have to restart the entire thing again? Yes. It was very much a pain. Alright, so that's the end of part 1. There is a part 2. So we again get access to our guns once again, but unfortunately there's not a lot of enemies to deal with. So here we go. Aim, fire, explosion. Fantastic. Keep running. Again, we have to wait for Lewis to enter first. So it's just like, come on, Lewis. Hurry it up. I don't got all day. So here we go. Part 2. And part 2 is even more of a thrill ride, because there's a little extra ingredient added to the concoction. A chainsaw. Because who doesn't love chainsaws? See? Chainsaw. So now we have archers and Dr. Salvador's return. And there's 2 to 3 ways you can deal with Dr. Salvador. And I say 2 to 3, but it's really 2. There's blowing up his cart, or there's shooting him directly. However, there's a thing coming up where you can shoot a barrel. It's kind of hard to do. And it damages his cart like a ton. Also, you want to make sure that you don't tip, otherwise it's, you know, game over. And I missed every opportunity to hit the barrel and damage his cart a lot. Oh well, not much I can do. So we're dealing with a Dr. Salvador at maximum power. And he does quite a bit of damage. However, if you just make him flinch, it's easy. He doesn't hit you and we're fine. Again, deal with his friends. Reload my red 9. Aim and fire. Luckily, he can't one-shot us on assisted, but on professional, it is one shot and you're done. Also, if you kill him, Leon says a line, but if you don't kill him, he doesn't say the line. The line is end of the line, asshole. Haha. So that's pretty much the end of the auto-scroller minecart section. And then we're going back into the Novistador hive. Like I said, Novistadors make more appearances than they do in the original. There we are. Again, switching back to the rocket launcher. Again, there was an elevator right there. Who knows where it goes to, though, because we take a different elevator and end up elsewhere, so I'm not exactly sure where that elevator was going to take us. Alright, so there they are being all camouflaged, trying to be sneaky, but clearly I can see through their camouflage. There we go. They all dealt with. As I continue to run. Don't worry, there's more. Also, you can, like, break their hive. It is a merchant quest. But it's not something we need to do for the speedrun. And I also don't think it adds any benefit in the run itself. I don't think. Alright. Ow. Here we go, running to the end. Of course, we have to wait for Lewis. So who knows where Lewis is, because he's never directly behind us. Please go into the elevator, Leon, which causes them to just completely ignore me. I don't know why, but the second I enter the elevator, they just kind of leave us be. And again, not sure why. There's Lewis. And then here is a cutscene that you don't know is a cutscene. But it's a cutscene. You have to wait for the door to close. And Lewis has been murdered by Krauser. So the knife fight is included. I meant to kick him. Only it's not a quick time event cutscene thing. I am... Ow. There we go. And that's the end of chapter 11, on to chapter 12. Also, the remake makes one of the missions in Darkside Chronicles canon. Because in Darkside Chronicles, which is the second, I'm trying to think of the word, light gun game for the Wii. That's the word I wanted to use. There's a mission called Operation Javier, and they talk about it in this game. And it's like, oh, I guess that's canon now. Apparently, Darkside Chronicles is the absolute worst. I really enjoyed Umbrella Chronicles, but never got the opportunity to play Darkside Chronicles. There we go. So now, we're in the clock tower. And we are going to blow up this statue so it doesn't set us on fire. I always like blowing it up before talking to Ramon because it's like, that's really funny because I just blew that up and yet you're standing up there. How are you still up there? There we go. Just kind of getting them out of my way so they don't hit me. And climb. power of explosions. Wow. Wow, game. Just okay. Alright. Please don't grab me. You have now forced my hand to explode you all. I was gonna say, did you just save me by punching me? But the answer was no. Oh, come on. There we go. Alright. I'm going to use your device. Okay, can everybody stop trying to punch me? Please and thank you. Be ever so nice. I don't know if that's gonna kill that Glorialis Plagas man. I have a feeling. Nope, because he's right there. So one thing that happens while they're doing their Glorialis Plagas is it plays a high-pitched sound which affects Leon, and it causes him to not shoot for a period of time. Go. Nope. Hit, please. Thank you. Not bad. Now, we want to make sure that we're hitting them, because if one lands, the platform stops, and obviously if it stops, it means we're not moving, and therefore we're losing time. So we need to make sure that they're getting hit. There's two Glorialis Plagas men, so we have to make sure that we deal with them as we just kind of climb up. If we have any donations or messages for chat, now would be a good time. Because I'm just going to be sitting here shooting. No, we're not. I was gonna say, I think we're good, but there's one left. Alright. Excellent. Also, any enemies that are down below, for some reason, die when we get up here. Don't know why. Alright. And of course, the bell rings. And we shoot. Walk across these. If you try to run, you will fall and you will die. Run across these. There we go. Now they did change the final boss, or not the final boss fights, the big boss fights, except for Mendez. Mendez was the only one that they kept the same. Ramon is different, Krauser is different, and Sadler are different. Although there are some minor changes with Mendez, as he'll try to like throw exploding barrels at you and whatnot, and throw planks of wood at you. But other than that, Mendez is pretty much the same. So yeah, and again, this is another like just kind of chill session, perfect for hydration and any messages, of course. There we go. As we are nearing the end of chapter 12, and again, we're done with the castle. There is no more castle after this.
泳がなくて済みそうだ。
There we go. All right. So chapter 13, the beginning of the island. They did add something a little different to the first start of the puzzle. In the original, you would have to move mirrors to make sure that the lasers hit 2 spots. In this one, there's now auto turrets. And you can't get hit by the auto turrets, so you have to move the auto turrets to make it not hit you. Now, apparently in no major glitches, the turret skip can be used. I have no experience doing turret skip, so I don't do it. I just don't understand it, so I'm like, let's not, and say we did. So we're going to move the turret. Run. Try to not get set on fire. Again, now we have boar heads with guns. It's not fun. They hurt a lot. Doing going the wrong way. That's what you're doing. Of course. Alright. So turn, jump. Jump again. Oh hey, clog his head. I don't think I hit him for that. Again, enemies can also get hit by the turrets as well. And it's usually an insta-kill for them, as well as us. Can explode then to deal with 2 enemies. Try to make sure I don't hit the rock. I hit the rock, which means he's going to come around the corner, so I have to do another one. That is perfectly fine. Also, enemies are going to start having rocket launchers as well. I believe there's 4? No, 5 enemy rocket launcher enemies littered throughout the island section. Good, I hit him. Most excellent. Again, deal with the shield guys. They think they're safe, but nothing is safe from the rocket launcher. Also, gotta avoid the electric stick guys because it's kind of annoying because you also have to mash out of their attacks sometimes. We don't have to deal with that group down there. We can just skip by them and continue on. Also, regenerators do exist in the remake, so prepare to be absolutely horrified all over again. As I just climb here. There we go. Oh good, I killed one of them. Usually I don't get to kill one of the guys inside with an explosion. Usually that is not the case. Bam, more explosions. Alright, turning and jumping down. And then we see where Ashley's being kept. In the original, he sees it on surveillance tape. In this one, he just sees the room. Also, we don't have to fight these two. They will not be here when I come back towards the end of the or at the end of the chapter. They just won't be here. Ow! What hit me? I know what hit me. It was a dude, and it was just like, really? Really? You're gonna hit me, huh? Alright. And also, of course, we have the haunted kitchen. The haunted kitchen is in the original as well. It's a little more off-putting in the original than it is in this one, because it's a lot darker in the original. Alright. Turning. Ignoring the closed gate. We're gonna open it in just a second. Also, the introduction to regenerators is a little different, as we kind of caught a glimpse of one there. In the original, they don't show up until we grab the key card. In this one, it's kind of like, yes, I'm here, and I'm very scary, and I'm going to get you if you're not careful. But I'm not gonna come out yet, because that would be too easy. So there we go, we've opened the door. Whoops. And again, we kind of see the experiments that Lewis's team were working on when it comes to the Plagas. And there was the regenerator, but I kind of exploded him into 1,000 bits. So it worked out great. Alright. Hit the lever, Leon. Excellent. And now we go into the freezer to grab the next key. Also, when it comes to these key cards, you'll notice that there's a progress bar. Killing enemies does not make the progress bar go faster. The progress bar is just going to be the progress bar. Or the processing bar. I suppose it's still a progress bar. Like launch. Murdered? We're still waiting. So it's just kind of a thing.
Is now an alright time for a donation? Yep. We have $20 from Rujasu. Thank you, Rujasu. Says, yo, enjoying this Resident Evil 4 run and looking forward to all of the exciting stuff coming up on the schedule. As am I. There are a lot of really great runs still to come. We have the rest of this evening, and then we've got basically 12-hour days tomorrow, Friday, and Saturday. So stick around for all of the speedrun goodness coming up, y'all.
So now we're just ignoring all these enemies. And remember the regenerators? Here's 4 of them. All just hanging out. One of them has a wrench that I need. But I also need to kill them all, because if I don't, then they're gonna try to eat me. And we don't want that. I won't be selling those gems, because I don't need to. And now we're gonna have some regular Ganado show up. I'm just going to rocket the area until it's done, because that's what I need to do. Apparently I let one of them through the door. Apparently another one's through the door. Don't you dare grab me, sir. Just doesn't want to die. Oh, another one. Oh! Okay, no. Bad guy with an electric stick. Alright. Those 2 I don't need to worry about whatsoever, because I have what I need to continue and they don't chase me all the way through. Do I know why? Absolutely not. Alright. Lift the bar, or slide it over, I guess. Whatever works. Open the gate. There we go. And that's the end of chapter 13, on to 14. Again, Leon asking Ada, like, where to go. And actually just climbing on Leon's shoulders, lifting up. Leon's got some really strong shoulders, let me tell you. Also, I just noticed that he was holding his back again. That's kind of neat. Although, again, it's your shoulders you should be holding for a brief second. Leon, she was on your shoulders, not... You weren't lifting her from a distance as she fell and broke your spine. Also, this section has changed. In the original, there was kind of like a bulldozer type thing. In this one, there's a wrecking ball. So right now, we've got goons to deal with. We're gonna deal with the goons. I don't know if that one died or if it lived. It's not really that big of a deal. There we go. Climb. I need Ashley to pull the lever. There we go. Pull the lever. Again, we don't need to worry about Ashley being kidnapped. Nicely done. We also didn't need to worry about enemies being... Oh, I got all 3 of them. Very nice. Sometimes I do. Actually, most of the time. It's kind of rare that I get all 3 of them with that explosion. And now we have a puzzle, if you will. But first, I need to wait for Ashley. Ashley's just eventually gonna show up. It's gonna be fine. It's all gonna be perfectly fine. There it is. Now we need 2 arrows to meet the orange part. At least it looks orange to me. Also, remember regenerators? Meet the Iron Maiden, as I did that very wrong and I don't know what I was thinking. Excuse me a moment while I do this the proper way. So he's gonna transform into an Iron Maiden. We're not gonna worry about that, and we're just gonna unlock the door. There we go. We're good. No need to worry. Again, luckily that worked out and I didn't actually explode him before crossing over, because if that hadn't happened, I would have had to have taken him out. Alright, so we have Ashley doing that. We run to get and pull another lever. There's a lot of lever pulling. Too bad Yzma's not here. If only Yzma was here. Alright, so now we've got Ganado coming in and another Iron Maiden. So we're running as fast as possible. One of the things they did change from the original is the way Ashley is introduced to an Iron Maiden is, come on, dude. You didn't touch her. I'm gonna have to go with the Iron Maiden, aren't I? Yes, I am. Because Ashley's not gonna be able to do that in time. Yep. Well, this went poorly, but there's an Iron Maiden. They're covered in spikes. And they shoot those spikes. How are you alive? I want to know how these guys are avoiding rockets. Just why? Anyway, we're good. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3. 2, 3. No, I did that. 2, 3. 1, 2. There we go. Again, you need all the power nodes to be opened. Alright. Onwards. Also, we're about to lose Ashley again. But we're also almost about to fight Krauser. So, here's the thing. Don't catch Ashley. Just run immediately to the bulldozer. Or to the wrecking ball. Shoot that. Also, I didn't kill them. I should have killed them when I had the chance. Ow. Yeah. Anyway, now that that's done, we're gonna call for the lift. Hopefully Ashley is speedy. Alright. Hit. There we go. Again, we gotta wait for the lift anyway, so killing enemies after the fact isn't that huge of a deal. If you don't end that in one cycle, there's like a ton of enemies that you have to fight. But if you end it in one cycle, there's a way to do it in New Game as well using grenades. So it works out well. Alright, here we go. Leon, stop walking to the... Leon? Leon? Stop walking into walls. Thank you. There we go. Turning. Go to the Amber, which is also new to the remake. It's from the original. And again, we have now been introduced to Sadler. And he has taken Ashley once again to try to prepare her for the final ritual to make her one with Los Plagas. And also, Krauser really wants us to fight. So again, tune up and head out. Go. Jump down. So again, rocketing the wall gets rid of him. There's actually quite the combat sequence you do if you don't rocket him out of the way. So it's very nice and makes quick work of this part. He is also going to appear at several points, much like the original. Remake has a lot more stuff during this part than the original, at least I find. The original is kind of like, I'm here, I'm there, but this one, there's a lot more conversation, and again, a lot more talk about Operation Javier. Also, there's a way to get him to not grab you, which is rocketing the spot. I guess I moved a little too close. So that was my bad. Please explode, thank you. Avoid the bear trap. Also, he has automated guns. In the original, it's automated drones that come out and explode and also fly and shoot you. There are no exploding drones in this one. Also, in the original, you're running around grabbing tablets to put in a door. In this one, you're just running through to the fight location. So I guess maybe the original still has more stuff that you do. But I definitely prefer this in Remake. So the reason I pulled out my Magnum was so that he'll drop. He doesn't drop after a rocket shot. And now he's transformed into his Plagas form, which of course is the classic, my giant arm is a sword. Or my arm is now a giant sword. However, there is a bit of a change in Remake as well, which we will see in just a moment. Also, I don't know if I'm going to get the mid-air rocket shot. I've only gotten it once and I was like, oh my god, that is possible. It's a little tricky, but doable. So he has a second arm in the remake, and it acts more like a shield. So that is a thing as well. But again, rocket him, he's done. On to chapter 15. Yes. So it's all good. Just running along as we make our way to the summit. This part is kind of annoying just because of Mike's existence. No, I'm good. I don't need armor replenish. Mike's existence just makes this really annoying. So what's supposed to happen there is Mike is supposed to shoot everybody and kill all the things, but we're going to do that instead. And unfortunately, there's just this unskippable introduction of Mike. Again, rocket launchering this cave, because that's where enemies are going to appear out of first. Again, Mike is supposed to be the great equalizer when it comes to this, but unfortunately, we have an infinite rocket launcher, so we don't really need Mike. So we're not going to use his services. And then he's going to be like, I'm all out of ammo, I used it all, and it's like, you barely used anything, but okay. You used all of your ammo, sure. Unfortunately, you can't rocket and explode that and go through. He has to do it. However, we are going to let him deal with this tower and just run through because it is faster to do so. Ow. It's fine. Also, I should note that I am using the original game's soundtrack. That is a part of the deluxe edition. It is also available separately. I think it's $5, I think. I could be wrong. That's also how I got this costume. This costume is called Evil Leon. So that is also a thing. Nicely done. Rocket in the cutscene. Doesn't hit shield guy. And by rocket in the cutscene, I mean my rocket's explosion. So, climb up. So yeah, this is where he mentions, hey, I have no ammo. In the original, he doesn't fire here either, but he doesn't make the excuse of, I have no ammo. There's just no reason given to why he doesn't fire here. There we go. Cutscene. Get rid of him. Move right along. There's a guy with a baseball bat that can also be there. Baseball batters are kind of annoying. So I just decided to take him a little early. Because for whatever reason, they're still active and moving while that cutscene is playing, and it's just kind of like, that's rather annoying. Also, remember when I said the Novistadors are more prevalent? Well, Mike here is about to meet his end. And look at that. Novistadors are everywhere. Yes. And I kind of like that touch that Novistadors are also here. And, spoilers, but the final boss fight also features Novistadors, as Sadler can call them when he's in his transform state. Also, Sadler talks to you during the fight, which was a nice touch in my opinion. So, yeah, those are all things. One thing that I will say is we will not see Novistadors in the final boss fight, because I'm going to murder him in one shot. But it is a nice touch that Novistadors are there. Also, there are Iron Maidens in these body bags, so luckily I didn't knock into any of them. And then here we go. Actually, it's not that bad because I have the knife and it kills them in one shot. That's the advantage of using the fighting knife over the primal knife. In order to get the primal knife, you actually have to do quite a bit. Like, get all of 16 of the figures, which is fine. It is what it is, but I was very disappointed that its big selling thing was that it just has, like, it's just an unbreakable knife, because its damage is trash, and I'm just like, well, that's no fun. It can't help me in the slightest. It can just be an infinite knife. Boo hiss. So again, the guns are back. And we needed to turn that one. Again, you can do turret skip there as well. But again, I have no experience with it whatsoever, so I just don't do it. And now we're going to get Ashley once again. And this is actually the part where Ada gets herself into a bit of trouble. Because Sadler is here. Sadler is trying to prevent us from taking Ashley. But Ada comes to the rescue and allows us to escape with Ashley. And now we have a giant walking section. So, if you have any donations, messages for chat, that would be a good time, or now would be a good time for that.
Well, another reminder that we are raising money for RIP Medical Debt, which is an organization that purchases medical debt like a for-profit debt collection agency would, but instead of then turning around and hounding people to pay their debt, they just make it go away, which is a neat trick that, you know, for-profit debt collection agencies could also do, but they don't, because that's the healthcare system for you. Anyway, but what that means is that they can purchase the debt at steep discounts, so that every dollar we donate to this event will eliminate $100 in medical debt, which is pretty sweet. So if you have not donated yet and are able to, that would be a huge impact for a number of people. And Paige, a little while ago, just wanted to point out, Leon really likes hurling himself into walls. That's like his thing, so...
I suppose. So right now, Leon is losing his mind, because it's basically now or like it's almost Plagas time at this point. So he is just losing it and hallucinating, so he really needs to get this thing out of both him and Ashley. Otherwise, it's it's Plague's time. But luckily, Lewis has this machine. In the original, getting to this is like nothing. It's like you're moving at regular speed and everything. In this one, they decided to go with the more cinematic route, which is cool. Except for in a speed run where it's like, I want to go fast. I don't want to like go at a snail's pace. In any percent, there is a glitch called duffel bag, which allows you to move at regular speed and not go cough, cough, I'm getting infected, hallucinations, and you just run to the end. It just recently became legal to do in the speed run. It was banned for a bit until they found a way to do it more consistently, and supposedly they have that way. So it is a thing for any percent. But this is any percent, no major glitches, so we can't do that. Slash, also, I don't know if it's possible on current patch, so that's another thing entirely. So now we're in chapter 16, and we're just running to the end. There's no vista doors, but we're gonna ignore them. We're not gonna pay attention to Ashley, because like I said, we don't have to babysit Ashley in the remake. We can just go for it. And so, Leon is ducking and weaving and running as fast as he can, because it's all what it is. Now, it's time for the final boss. It's time for Sadler to go down. Oh wait, I hit him with a rocket, but he's not dead. That's because I have to wait for him to land, and then he dies. But wait, there's a phase 2 that's also new to the original, or from the original. He's dead, but wait, we now have an escape sequence, because what Resident Evil game would be complete without an escape sequence? So here we go, we're off to the races. The island's about to explode. Oh no, what are we gonna do? Well, we don't have a parasite to worry about anymore, so I think we're good. We just gotta go as fast as possible. It's like Leon and Ashley are speedrunning in real life. So to speak, real life as in their real life. Oh no. If that guard grabs you, it plays a little mini cutscene, and you don't really have to do anything for it. And oh no, there's a, I don't know what this is, a mainframe power source thing blocking our path. Luckily, Leon has the strength to push it. And now get ready for another thrill ride, because we're going jet skiing. Now, funny enough, in my first playthrough, I did this without getting hit, without taking any damage. There's a trophy for it if you do that. However, I've never been able to do it since, so that's just kind of funny. Also, we can do tricks, because who doesn't love doing tricks on a jet ski? And again, we only have a minute and 40 seconds to escape the exploding island, or else we're dead. Oh no. Don't get hit by the giant rocks. More tricks. Also, it gives you 1,000 peseta for every trick you do. I don't know why it gives you money at the very end of the game, but it does give you money at the very end of the game. Granted, if you do New Game Plus, you can transfer your money over. Though at this point, I don't save things. Here we go. Almost at the end. More tricks. Alright, and the second Leon goes over this, that is time. So we have done it. We have ran the remake of Resident Evil 4. And so,
GG.
yes. What is the final in-game time? By the way, the game is timed by IGT, not RTA. And the final time, ooh, 201. Boo. But yes.
Were we hoping for sub 2?
I mean, my PB is sub 2 hours RTA. Haha. But yes, that has been Resident Evil 4 Remake. The game that makes everybody rage when you speedrun it. You can find me on Twitter at abby_brander. You can find me on Twitch TV at Abby's Corner. You can also find me on co-host at Abby's Corner. I also have a podcast called Speedrunners and Coffee, which you can find on Twitter and YouTube and Spotify, just to name a few. I'm actually going to be back here on Friday at around 2:40 p.m. for Fashion Police Squad, which is a very different game.
I'm so excited for it. I did your tech check for that, and it looks so good. I'd never heard of it, but it looks so good.
Yes. So if you're a fan of, you know, the shooters of yesteryear, like the original Doom or Wolfenstein, what have you, but in a stylish, child-friendly, silly game, then you might want to check that out. But thank you so much for having me today, and I shall return.
All right, Abby, thank you so much. Thank you, everyone, for hanging out. We will return shortly with Groucho Barks running Pokemon something. Alpha Sapphire, that one. All right, thanks, everyone. Be back.